The budget speech of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented in the month of February 2020 has given rise to lots of doubts in the minds of NRI community that their overseas income could be taxed in India. I had produced two videos earlier on this subject as well. I had promised to come with a clarification video once the Finance Act of 2020 is passed by the Parliament. Now, Parliament has passed this act and act is published in the Gazette. So here is the clarification video promised for you with all the information that you need to know about NRI taxation. Dear viewers, this is NRI Money Clinic for you and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Dear viewers, I would like to add a disclaimer here. I have made an attempt here to simplify all the things that you need to know from the Finance Act 2020 which has a bearing on NRI taxation. But tax queries at times can become very complex. It can give rise to interpretation. So please consult your chartered accountants and the tax experts while filing your returns. Before we get into the different provisions of Finance Act 2020 with respect to NRI community, let's look at different income a person might have. There are three categories of income a person may have. Category number 1, income earned inside India. Category 2, income earned from business or profession which is set up in India but the income is received from outside of India. Category 3, income from foreign sources. These are the broad three categories of income any person might have. Now if you are an NRI, what kind of income you may derive from inside India? If you are having NRO accounts, interest earned from NRO accounts. If you are having shares, the dividends that you receive from shares. If you are having properties, the rents that may come to you as rentals from these properties. If you have sold properties, there could be capital gains against the sale of properties. These are all the incomes will be treated as income earned from inside of India. Likewise, if you have a business which is set up in India and is being controlled from India, or a profession which is set up in India, but if the payments are coming from outside of India, then it is treated as a business income from outside of India. Similarly, salary income from your employment outside of India, the interest you would have received from your deposits outside of India, the business income you would have got from businesses which is set up outside of India, the rentals you got from properties which are outside of India, all these are treated as foreign sources of income. In the Income Tax Act of India, individuals are categorized into three groups depending on their residential status. Which are these three groups? Group number 1, non-resident in India or NRIs. Group 2, residents but not ordinarily resident, otherwise known as RNOR. Group 3, residents ordinarily resident in India, otherwise known as ROR. Now that we have three categories of individuals and three types of income, now let us see how the three types of income gets taxed in the hands of these three category of people. Now if a person is categorized as ROR, resident ordinarily resident, then he has to pay tax against all the three categories of income. Income earned in India, income earned outside of India for the businesses and professions set up in India, as well as income from foreign sources. All the three categories of income comes under taxation for individual who is categorized as ROR. For the individual who is categorized as RNOR or resident not ordinarily resident, two types of income are taxable. The income which is earned in India and the income earned from outside of India from the businesses which have set up in India or the professions which have been set up in India. His income from foreign sources will not be taxed in India. If an individual is categorized as NRI, then he is liable to pay tax on only one type of income. That type of income is income earned inside India. He need not pay taxes on other two types of income. That is, the income which he has received from outside of India for the businesses which have been set up inside India or the professions which have been set up in India. As usual, his income from foreign sources will not be taxed in India. Now, till now, whatever we discussed, it has remained same. It has not changed in the Finance Act 2020. Now, let us start looking at what changes have come in the Finance Act 2020. Now, in the Finance Act 2020, let us see how these three categories of individuals are described, or what is the qualification criteria to describe an individual under any specific category. First, let us look at ROR category, resident, ordinarily resident. To be described as ROR, there are two conditions which have been put in. Condition number one is if an individual stays inside India for more than 182 days, then he will become ROR, resident, ordinarily resident. There is a second category here. The second category says if an individual has stayed for more than 365 days in the last 4 financial years and he has stayed for more than 60 days in the current financial year, then also he will be treated as resident, ordinarily resident. So, out of these two conditions, any one condition is sufficient to describe him as resident, ordinarily resident, or ROR. Now, in case of ROR, resident, ordinarily resident, in the eligibility criteria, condition number 2 has some exception to the rule. What does condition number 2 say? If a person is staying inside India for a total of 365 days or more in the last 4 financial years, along with 60 days during this financial year, has been relaxed in certain category of individuals. If a person is going out of India for the purpose of employment, or for those seafarers who are going as crew of Indian ships, the condition of 60 days has been replaced by 182 days. In the Finance Act of 2020, two more exceptions to the rule have been inserted to condition 2 to ROR category of individuals. What are these? If an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin visits India, and if his Indian income and his income from outside of India from Indian business, aggregately if it is less than 15 lakhs, then the 60 days is replaced as 182 days. Another exception to the rule has an income criteria which is built into it. If an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin visits India, and if his total Indian income plus his income earned outside of India from Indian business or profession, aggregately if it is more than 15 lakhs, then the number of days 60 is replaced by 120 days. Now, for such individuals, the clause 2 would read as 365 days or more number of days of stay inside India for during the last 4 financial years plus more than 120 days in the current financial year, and if he has an income of more than 15 lakhs, then he will be treated as resident, ordinarily resident inside India. Now we have seen who are categorized as ROR and the qualification criteria to that effect. Anyone who do not fit into this category will become non-resident individual from income tax perspective. Now in the Finance Act 2020, if a person is categorized as an NRI, then there is one more condition which has been inserted. What is this condition? If a person gets qualified as an NRI and if he has a taxable income in aggregate which is more than 15 lakhs from his sources of income inside India plus his income he derives from outside of India for the businesses which are controlled from India as well as the professions he has set up in India, such individual, if he is not a bona fide tax resident of any other country, he will be treated as deemed resident of India. Now we saw who will be categorized as ROR. We also saw who will be categorized as NRI. Now let us see who will be categorized as RNOR or resident not ordinarily resident. To know this, first we have to see who is an ROR. If a person is categorized as an ROR and then if he has spent his 9 years out of the last 10 years as an NRI, then he will be given an RNOR status. Another condition is if the person has spent less than 730 days inside India during the last 7 years, then he too will be given a RNOR status. Who else will be qualified to be treated as RNOR category person? Now if a person is categorized as NRI and because of his tax residency issues that he is a stateless person when it comes to question of tax residency, then he will be treated as a deemed resident of India. Even in his case, for tax purpose, he will be categorized as a RNOR category provided he has more than 15 lakh income from his Indian source of income plus his income he derives from outside of India from the businesses or professions he has set up from inside of India. There is another category of person who can be categorized as RNOR. Now if a person of Indian origin or an Indian citizen who comes to visit India and stays inside India for more than 120 days but less than 182 days, and if he has spent more than 365 days inside India during the last 4 financial years, and if income is more than 15 lakhs in aggregate from his Indian source of income plus his income from outside of India from the businesses that he has set up in India or the profession that he has set up in India. For tax purposes, he too will be categorized as RNOR. To summarize it all, Finance Act 2020 has put to rest all the doubts and confusions that were there in the minds of NRI community. For most of the people, it is business as usual and the same state which was there earlier, that itself will continue without any changes. It affects two categories of individuals who have an income in excess of 15 lakhs in aggregate from the Indian source of income and the income that they have derived from outside of India from the businesses or professions that they have set up in India. These two categories of individuals are a person who is categorized as deemed resident of India and the Indian citizen or PIO who comes and visits India and stays for more than 120 days and less than 182 days. Only for such category of people, this Finance Act 2020 has brought in change. So what are the takeaways for NRIs from this Finance Act of 2020? Number one, maintain correct record of your number of days you have stayed in India. While filing tax return, there will be specific questions that might be asked, how many number of days you have stayed in each financial year. You also are required to maintain full proof of your tax residency certificate or your residence permit and everything else. The taxman can ask you for any of these sources at any point of time. If you keep these things in your hand, you shouldn't be really worrying much about from this Finance Act 2020. So dear viewers, if you have more queries about this act or you want more information about the NRI taxation, please consult your chartered accountants before you file your tax return. If you need any assistance to plan out your investment activities, be it in Indian rupees or in the dollar accounts, feel free to contact me on the WhatsApp number shown here on the screens. My services are always available to you. Dear viewers, if you like the topic that I discussed today, please hit the like button. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and relatives and near and dear ones. If you are watching this program for the first time or if you are yet to subscribe for this channel, please press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I'll be back with you with one more topic and one more video very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.